And so I'm really big on with the way that I structure teams, and that is always putting the right people on the right seats of the bus. One of the concepts from the book, Good to Great, one of my favorite ones. Good read for anyone who wants to build a great business. And so once the right people are on the right seats of the bus, they just get to do their best thing. And so put yourself in the right seat in the bus. It may not even necessarily be the driver. Maybe it's the person hanging out the window cheering. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like, but work out what that is for you, and then make sure that you've got other people around you. They don't have to be full-time. They don't have to be superstars, but they're just the right people around you so that you can do your best. And some of those people will be mentors and advisors and consultants and people outside your business who are going to help you get this shit done. Like Jackson.
You've nailed it, mate. And look, I think there's really two types of people who are probably listening to this, and they either say, Jackson and Pete, I'm not even there yet, like I'm miles away. And the other one's going to be, I never want to sell my business. And I found in my experience that you should prepare for the North Star, because when you've got a North Star, it's the guiding light that gets you to where you want to go. And secondly, people don't want to sell their business until one day they do. And what that day is, when they want to sell it, their business isn't ready for sale. So the way I always look at it is that one of my founding values with Sam and I, when we started the business, we said two things. We never want to list on the stock market, and we never want to sell. But life happens. Like even we've got a very good friend of mine, and you know this fellow, Peter, who had an accident. He's a business owner, and he's in the process of considering looking to sell. It was just outside of his control. And it's just one of these situations where sometimes just life just serves you lemons, and your business should be ready for sale. Otherwise, a very significant part of your wealth creation strategy, all that hard work, can go out the window. So what we should always be doing is always having our business ready for sale, and most importantly, knowing what our business is actually worth. So how we do that is we need to do some research to work out what is the way that your current business is valued. Is it a multiple of recurring revenue? Is it a multiple of EBITDA? Is it a multiple of your SaaS revenue? Whatever it might be, right? And then work out what that valuation is today. And then work out what are the things that you can do and what are the levers that you can pull that can actually improve that business valuation. Is it deploying systems? Is it reducing key person risk? Is it increasing recurring revenue and getting rid of goodwill, whatever that might be? And like, I'll give you an example. Based on that previous example that I gave you in regards to pulling the price and the volume lever, we had a client who said, I have a clear exit plan that I want to sell my business for $5 million. And in their particular industry, their business was worth a 4 times multiple of EBITDA, or a 4 times multiple of operating profit. So their business was worth about 2.3 million. Now, as a result of that 10% increase in volume and the 10% increase in price, in 1 year, they were able to increase their business value by over $1.4 million, meaning that they were less than 18 months away from achieving their target business valuation. And if I were to say to you, and if I was to say to most business owners, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Business Owner, if you increase your volume by 10% and your price by 10%, you're going to be on track for getting your business to the valuation that you want in 18 months. You're going to be far more motivated to do it, right? Because sometimes increasing your price seems a bit icky in the moment, but if you can see the light through the trees and the North Star that you're chasing, it gives us the motivation we need to have that proactive and that forward-facing financial plan.
Yeah. And I'm curious, like, what's your opinion on aiming for like the big sellout versus creating a cash flow machine that just continues to flow cash flow? Because I mean, you mentioned that you didn't plan to sell your business. And so I think I might see what side of the fence you sit on there. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Great question. You should not rely on your business to sell. We've worked out, we looked into a study that 94% of businesses are either not sold or not sold for a profit. So there's really only a 6% chance of selling your business for a profit if you ever sell it at all. Now, on that basis, your business should be a cash generating machine. And the whole idea of chasing this business value is on the premise that you're actually improving your cash flow and your profit of your business. So we use that profit, we systematically turn that profit into personal wealth in property and shares. We work towards that $4 million in net wealth, or whatever your magic number is. And if you do ultimately choose to sell your business, then that's cream on top.
Yeah. And I presume as part of your service and as part of your engagement with customers, like, you're helping with these strategies on how you can actually help grow and implement the business? Because I know you've got a good following and you've written some books. I presume that comes part of the parcel, because really for someone to get there, like, they've got to increase the number. They've got to increase the profit number. For some business owners, it's probably like, all right, let's first get you to a market rate so you can live comfortably. And then, all right, as soon as we start getting the cream coming on top, then we do more. That sounds like it's all part of how the business works.
Exactly right. What we help our clients do is we firstly help them define what it is they want. We actually help them create a 20-year lifestyle and financial roadmap for the future, and we reverse engineer that into an income target that they need to achieve every single year in order to make that happen. Next, we help them create a really simple wealth creation strategy of understanding the fundamentals of cash flow from their business to their household and household into investments, so they can systematically run their investments and pretty much set it on autopilot. Next, we help them understand the power of leverage, particularly when it comes to buying property, because leverage can be a great tool, particularly in a low interest rate environment, to drastically compound and accelerate your wealth. And lastly, we give them a financial operating system that allows them to manage all of their money, both personally and in their business, in less than 30 minutes a month. It's a really, really simple framework.
I love it. Let's get into some more practical. So you've got a business and you want to increase the revenue, you want to increase the profit so that, you're in a place where you can start working with you. I mean, you should probably give Jackson a call anyway. But what are some of the things that someone can do if they're in their business right now at this time of year or coming into the new year?
Yeah. So first thing is that you should get a really clear understanding of how much income you need to be able to be pulling out of your business for you to live a comfortable lifestyle, but ideally have at least a 20% surplus. So for example, if your cost of living is 80,000 a year, you should be drawing 100. If it's 160, you should draw 200. Because if we've got at least 20% surplus, that should be a sufficient amount to start to help you start building wealth. Two, you should make sure that you're always accruing and paying and saving for your taxes as you go. If you're always finding yourself in this vicious cycle of going on payment plans or falling behind with the ATO, there is a fundamental issue, because you are falling behind the 8 ball, and not only are you having to try and pay off your tax that you owe, you're also trying to save for the tax that you're accruing as you go. So it's a double whammy. Profit First can get you out of the traps. We've helped clients come to us with $500,000 tax debts, get line ball and actually charge forwards and run phenomenal businesses and build and amass huge amounts of wealth. The third part is that you need to get clear on your wealth creation strategy and your F3 figure, and work out how is your business and all of the effort and activity that you're investing actually connecting you and getting you closer to achieving financial freedom. Because here's the thing, as a business owner, you are part of an elite club. If you look at any rich list in the world, the vast majority of those individuals are there because of their business activity or their relatives' business activity. So the only difference between you and them is that they understand the language of money and how to turn their business profit into personal wealth. If you learn that too, you can be in that club.
Yeah.
And lastly, get advice.
Oh, and I see it as the freedom club. It's the club of life on your terms. And I think it's such a beautiful human desire to have freedom, to seek freedom, to, seek a life on your terms. And that's not to say that being an employee and working for someone else is not a life on your terms, but I think some will have that certain calling within them. And the great irony is, for many entrepreneurs, I've seen, they don't want to work for someone else because they want to do their own thing. And that's great and that's awesome. However, what I've found is I have a lot of safety in actually having recurring revenue and recurring income, to the point where I really like drawing a salary and drawing investment distributions on a recurring basis, on a very safe and repeatable basis. And I think that part is missing for a lot of business owners, particularly if you're the kind of person who just runs the business based on what's in the bank account and just pulls money out whenever you need it. That's nuts. 101 is having a business account set up and then your personal account set up, and having the profit system configured so that you know what profit's coming through. And I've been there. I've been in that place where every quarter the GST would come around and I would be slapped, or the annual accounts would come around and I would say, oh my God, I just had no idea, on planning for this. And what I've learned is every minute of my own investment in my education around finances and the commercial realities of my business, I've become a more successful business person. Every single minute has returned many, many times over. And it was hard to start with. There's all kinds of psychological stuff that was there for me. Stuff around deserving, stuff around procrastination, deep patterns for me that were, just stopping me from really getting to where I wanted to go. And side note, the business that we just bought helps people to get past those emotional blockages. But that's not a plug. What I'm trying to link that back to is for business owners actually understanding, okay, this is a skill that needs to be worked on. And the first time that you work on a skill or a muscle, you suck. If you've never done push-ups before and you try and do 10, you're not going to be able to do it. I started doing push-ups 2 years ago, and it took me a year doing push-ups on my knees, right? I don't want to gender it, but doing the basic push-ups before I could do a full push-up of my full body. And I was like, my God, like I'm reasonably fit. I ride bike, I ride motorbikes, but I couldn't do more than 3 push-ups, full length planking. And it was hard to get started. And that's how it was with finances for me. But after you work through that stuff, you work through the mud, bit by bit, it gets easier and easier. And especially when you start creating systems and flows of cash flow. The way I like to think about cash flow is it's like a beautiful river or stream flowing. There are inputs, there are outputs, and everything flows nicely. Your customer money flows in, you put a certain amount of money in the profit bucket, that flows to your personal wealth vehicle, and from there that flows into personal expenditure and then your wealth. And I'm sure you've got beautiful, pretty diagrams on your website and your collateral for everyone to see how that actually works. But once that starts to flow and once that starts to happen, then it's like, cool. My job is then to tweak the machine and pull the levers rather than trying to push a boulder up a hill. And it's a bit like another concept from Good to Great is pushing a big stone wheel. Now, when you first try and push a big stone wheel, it's really heavy and it's really hard to get started and it takes heaps of effort. But over time, it's building momentum and you're just putting little pushes and it's spinning and spinning and spinning. And, eventually it's really getting the momentum in itself and you can leave it and it just continues to spin and continues to grow. And that's how I kind of see this. It's hard to get started, but the moment that you pick up the phone and chat to a mentor or an advisor and say, hey, I'm going to get serious about this. Maybe you've got to pick up the phone to yourself and say, hey, it's time to get serious about this. When you make that decision, yeah, sure, it's going to suck doing those first couple of push-ups, but over time, it's a muscle that can be built. And it doesn't have to be scary. We've set some really, really basic guides and frameworks and goals here. And I love the 4-4 system. It's just so simple. It's like, great, optimize that for your numbers. If you need $80,000 a year, awesome. If you want $500,000 a year, awesome. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's a Lambo or a Mazda, it doesn't matter. But once you've got that, then you can start actually building out your wealth plan. And that sounds awesome to me. To me, it's like all about having a plan, right? You fail to plan, exactly. You plan to fail. And once you've got that plan, then everything is just a matter of being disciplined and sticking to that plan.